let's talk about Geraint Thomas, because we saw him have a pretty kind of embarrassing crash in the finish of the Queen stage of Tour de Romandie, which just wrapped up, but I have a lot of empathy for him. He went to sprint against Mike Woods at the top of a 20K long summit finish climb, and he missed his bars. And it was this nasty, epic weather, a kind of freezy, rainy, foggy climb. Looked awesome, also looked absolutely miserable to be riding your bike in. And what Garen had is something I've experienced myself in racing, where your hands just go completely numb. And this has gotten worse for me as I've gotten older. I don't know if there's any relationship there. Maybe I'm just getting a little bit softer as I get older, but it gets to the point where I'm trying to shift my bike using my entire hand, because I just cannot actually feel my fingers whether or not they're making contact with my shift buttons. So when you look at the replay of what happened to Geraint Thomas, his hand looked like he was trying to hold the bars, but he just wasn't holding the bars, and he went to sprint and completely took himself out. He, of course, felt very silly about it. Went from trying to contest the win to just trying to manage to get back on his bike before he got passed by any more riders. What this tells me, though, Gregor, is there are two riders who are on a very, very good trajectory towards the Tour de France, embarrassing crashes aside, Geraint Thomas and Mike Woods.
Yeah, let's not forget that finish was at 2,000 meters as well, so it gets cold up there. Michael Woods that day pulled off a great victory. It looked like he was set up for a good sprint, even if Thomas didn't crash to get that stage win. He also had the yellow jersey for one day. Now Thomas, 34 years old, and he showed his skills, the skills you need to win a Grand Tour time trialing, because the next day he overhauled Woods easily and took the race win overall. His first win since 2018, when he was on top of the podium on the Champs-Élysées in Paris at the Tour de France. So that's crazy to think, but here he is. This guy's a champion from the Olympics, a classics rider, and made this late transition to Grand Tour contender, and finally pulled it off in 2018. In 2019, with Egan Bernal winning the overall, the team helped Thomas get on the podium for the end of the race. But last year wasn't his year, but we're seeing Thomas come back and be that guy, and he has the experience to do so. I mean, he's won the race before. He's going to be a part of that Ineos team with Carapaz, with Theo Gegenhardt. But Geraint Thomas has won the Tour before, and that's going to help him. When you look at Carapaz, who of course has won the Giro in the past, so has Theo Gegenhardt, but Thomas knows how to pull off the big one. So that's going to work in his favor when we're looking at the Tour de France. And remember earlier this year also, Michael, we had the Vuelta a Cataluyna. Thomas was part of that Ineos 1, 2, 3 with Adam Yates on the top of the podium overall, and we had also Richie Porte in there. Thomas as well looks to be on a great season heading into the Tour de France. June 20th, Michael.
June 26th is when it starts.
26. Oh dear, I'm going to get there early.
That's okay, we could use you there. Still though, Geraint Thomas, I will say, I think that Mike Woods, fairness to him, I think he would have won that stage either way. Mike Woods is just, Geraint Thomas doesn't have a fast twitch muscle fiber in his legs at this point. He is just such a strong time trialist, he is trained for the longer efforts. Mike Woods is a much more punchy, explosive climber. So I think that Woods had that sprint. This, however, this difference in rider types is going to be completely different at the Tour de France because of all the time trialing kilometers this year that they're going to face. It is really, really going to favor a rider like Geraint Thomas, whereas Mike Woods, who is looking like he is just on impeccable form and only getting stronger at this point of the season, it's not a route for him. It's not really a great parcours for Mike Woods to try to win the Tour. Geraint Thomas, not only is it a great course for him, I think that what we're seeing is a bit of a fire that was lit under him. He admitted that after he won the Tour in 2018, he was on a little bit of a celebration tour, let himself get out of shape, did not put that much time into training, and I think that Ineos did not really appreciate that mentality. They did not take him to the Tour de France in 2020, and keep in mind this is a guy who's gotten first and second. and he was snubbed by the team. I think that lit a fire under him, and I think that he is really going into this June and this July with a mission. There's nothing about Geraint Thomas's demeanor which is suggesting to me that he is happy just being a one-time Tour de France winner.